Hey guys, Randy Reviews. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be reviewing 2025's I Know What You Did Last Summer. So let's get right into it. I'm going to talk about the stuff that the little bit of stuff I did like, and I'm going to talk a lot of stuff that I didn't like. So some of the stuff I did like, I guess the characters are tolerable for the most part. Ava was the only likable character to me in the whole film. You know, she's the only one that shows any hesitation in covering up. She feels guilty about it. She's the only one of the whole group that feels guilty. Everyone just kind of goes on. You know, the accident happens, and a year later, you know, people forgot. I like when we catch up with her a year later, and she's getting frisky with somebody, I guess, in the airport bathroom. Yeah. But other than that, no other character was really likable to me. Um, I did like the cinematography of this film. You can obviously tell that the director is a horror film buff or a fan. Um, I'm not familiar with her work. I think this might be her biggest film yet so far. Um, but I really like the cinematography. I like the editing. Um, Love that Freddie Prinze Jr. came back. Love that Jennifer Love Hewitt came back. Um, I like how they kind of say that, you know, they used to be married, but they kind of stand each other, it seems now, which they really don't go into. I wish they kind of did. Just a little bit of their backstory about, you know, we know they got married, but what went wrong? You know, did she want kids and he didn't? Um, you know, what made them so estranged. But I did like that scene between them when he goes over and after she talks to Ava and says you have to kill the killer before he kills you, and he goes over saying, you know, why'd you tell them to do that? You know, and they kind of go back and forth. You know, nice little scene between them. I think we only get like two scenes between them in the whole film. This and the ending, but yeah, like the scene, like that they both came back for this. You know, even Freddie Prinze Jr. said he was hesitant that he was going to say no, but when he heard where the characters had ended up, he agreed to it. You know, haven't seen the film. I wish he would have said no, because you know, having him be the killer just, you know, make the movie worse. That was an okay movie to begin with. Um, Having him be the killer when he was the good guy in the first two films, like, you know, I don't know, just rubbed me the wrong way. Rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way. Um, I don't know what they were thinking in writing that. Like, why would he be the killer? And why 27 years later? Why wait, you know, almost 30 years later? Um, and he takes the character Stevie under his wing. You know, there's a scene between them where he says, you know, I promised your father I would look after you. And she's kind of like a daughter to him, which they never explain why. Like, you know, she's just some kind of uh, co-worker, employee of his. They never really explain, you know, their kind of relationship other than they're both psychos. But yeah, um, I wasn't as disappointed as knowing that as one of the killers was Stevie. Um, as I was watching the film, it didn't make much sense that, you know, she's like 100 pounds and she's taking on people twice her size. All these guys, you know, twice her size. But yeah, and then I guess it made more sense because Freddie Prinze Jr., you know, his stature is more built, you know, so that makes sense that he kills, you know, did most of the killings. If y'all know which people Stevie killed and which people Ray killed, let me know. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the reveal. Just like, why you bring back a legacy character and he's the killer? Like, why? Um, Not that I was any more happy that Stevie was one of the killers. It felt like they doubled down. Like, you know, people will be mad that some people will be mad that a woman was the killer. So let's just say, you know, Ray was part of this plan between the two of them to get revenge. You know, Ray tells Julie that, you know, they forgot about us. They have to remember what happened, and you know, and it doesn't make sense why he killed the podcast character. I mean, she was an annoying character, but why he killed the podcaster? These podcasts keep these true crimes alive. So, you know, why kill the podcaster? Why kill the one source that's going to keep talking about it and interviewing people and, you know, bringing this back up? You know, that didn't make sense. But, you know, a lot of things in this film didn't make sense. But yeah, I didn't like the Danica character. I know. I didn't read reviews, but I read Wikipedia, the little reviews that they have say that she's a standout, and she wasn't really the standout to me. She was very annoying. So quick to cover up they killed somebody or inadvertently caused the accident. She was just an unlikable character to me throughout the whole film. There was really no redemption or no turnaround for her. She just kind of, in the beginning of the film, I think it's an engagement party, and then we cut back a year later, it's the bridal shower. Um, so yeah, there's really no, I guess, arc for most of them, but at least her, there's really no arc for her. She almost gets killed in the cemetery by, I'm assuming, Ray. Um, Another thing that didn't make sense is Stevie says that, the person that they inadvertently killed was someone close to her, helped her not relapse. And she says that she wanted Danica to feel, the hurt that she felt by saving her for last. But the killer could have killed Danica in the cemetery. Could have killed Danica in her house after she kills, I think, is it Milo, the boyfriend or fiance? So, all that kind of stuff didn't make sense. Yeah, guys, I don't have much more to say than this movie. I just really disappointed with it. You know, having Danica alive, she got hooked to what, the stomach or belly, and somehow she survives offshore. And when she meets with Ava later, they talk about, Stevie's still alive. Yeah. Uh, she tells her Stevie's still alive, and she goes, oh, that's crazy. We should kill her, and they both laugh and giggle, and just I guess wait for this to happen a year later. I guess. Um, Yeah, so my thoughts are that I was really, you can tell how flustered I'm getting by trying to talk about this, that I just really enjoyed this film at all, that, it was nice seeing Jennifer Love Hewitt, still looks good after all these years. Um, it was nice seeing Ray back, not as a killer, I'd rather him be the hero again, but it went a different route. Um, I don't think there'll be a sequel to this film. I don't see them continuing on, you know. Ray was the killer, Ray's dead, Julie's alive. I did like that cameo with Brandy because he is a survivor. I forgot until I saw the cameo. She's a survivor too. Um, I did kind of like that post-credit scene where Julie, comes over and says, "You're ready." I think she says ready to kick some ass and says, "Let's do it." So I do like that. Them both characters teaming up to kill um, whoever's stopping Julie now. So they're obviously trying to set it up for a sequel. Um, let's see. I don't think will happen, but I'll watch it if they do it in 2 or 3 years from now. I'll see what they do with this. It was just a huge disappointment. They brought it back. 2 films, and then they made a third film that had no characters, had nothing to do with the original 2 films, and then they did the Amazon show that I didn't see but heard wasn't good. So I think I got canceled after 1 season. But yeah. So this is one franchise I guess they could have dead and buried. But we'll see where this goes. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I just was disappointed. A lot of stuff in the film didn't make sense, but what can you do? So guys, leave your thoughts down below. Like, comment, all that stuff. You enjoyed the movie. You liked it for what it was. You really liked it. Will you be watching if they make a sequel a few years down the line? If we get another one at all, will you be down? Will you not be down? Let me know your thoughts. I would love to know what you guys feel and think about this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.